stuff going on in the United States today. The right wing is all celebrating 250 years of the American military. Incredibly based, incredibly cool. I love the military. I support those absolute goats. Frick yeah. Putting their lives on the line to protect our country. And then you get the left in America. Protesting and rioting. No King's Day. We will have no king. We gotta be anti-Trump in every possible way. No King's Day. Now, Hasan, Diddy, Bin Laden, Epstein, Piker, the largest leftist political streamer, decided to make this tweet a few days ago. So this account says, before you ask, yes, I voted for this regarding to deporting illegal immigrants. Hasan says, if you say something like this in public, you'd be put down like a dog. That's why you stick to Twitter. Basically saying that, yes, Hasan casually admitting the radical left will kill you over freedom of speech. Now, this is pretty crazy. Because, 2 Minnesota Democrats and a third victim were shot in their homes by a madman posing as a cop. We are going to be talking about this today. We're going to be talking about the funding for these riots. We are going to be talking about George Soros potentially going to jail. It was just exposed. Jack, thank you for the 20 gifted subs. We are going to be talking about a lot today because the newest fucking bull hoax that happened is mind-boggling and tragic. And this is a horrible thing. This is a fucking horrible thing. I've always said this and I'll say it again. Terrorist attacks against political opponents has no place in a democracy. It has no place. Suspiciously, Hasan kind of supports this. Remember, he supports Luigi Mangione, the guy who murdered a healthcare CEO in broad daylight. So this is nothing new to this guy. Nothing new for this freak. But anywho, we're going to be covering him again in the future because he has some really despicable to say. So we're going to be covering the and also the insanity. George Soros going to jail? Yeah, that's what they're saying. I don't know. So we're going to be looking at some So first, I wanted to give you the way this was covered. The moment this dropped, this guy, far left account on Twitter, breaking 2 Democrat lawmakers in Minnesota, Democratic Senator John Hoffman and Representative Melissa Hortman, were just shot in their homes by a gunman impersonating a police officer. Fucking tragic. Is MAGA going to condemn this violence? Yes! Every single MAGA person came out to condemn the violence because the left is the party of violence in America right now. Look at the streets of LA. This is why you don't open your door for law enforcement or ICE unless you see a warrant and ID. And he just casually says, this is why you don't talk to officers, because it might be some unhinged right-wing guy coming to murder you. All right, that is his argument, okay? That's what he's saying. All right, this is obviously a political attack. Some right-wing nutcase murdered 2 left-wing people, and he's trying to make it look like MAGA doesn't condemn it, even though every single person on the right condemns this. And then he kind of turns this into a don't open your door for the police. So let's look at the report.
John Hoffman and Representative Melissa Hortman. We do not know their condition at this point. We know that these are involved in the 2 situations that we've been following in Champlin and Brooklyn Park, where each of them live. We are working to get more information on all of this just as soon as we can. But again, 2 Minnesota lawmakers shot this morning.
Horrible.
Confirmed by our sources, Senator John Hoffman of Champlin and Representative Melissa Hortman of Brooklyn Park. John.
Fucking horrible. This is a tragic. It's an actual tragic situation. Oh my god. So of course you have everyone literally in the comment section. Didn't MAGA say that it's only the Democrats committing violence? They did say that, implying this is some right-wing nutcase that murdered 2 Democrat lawmakers in Minnesota. Fucking horrible, tragic situation. In fact, this is Tampon Tim. Governor Walz announced that it was a politically motivated attack. Trump owns this climate 100%. Let's see what he had to say.
We're here today because an unspeakable tragedy has unfolded in Minnesota. My good friend and colleague, Speaker Melissa and her husband Mark, were shot and killed early this morning in what appears to be a politically motivated assassination. Our state lost a great leader, and I lost a dearest of friends.
Horrible shit. It really
Speaker Hortman was someone who served the people of Minnesota with grace, compassion, humor, and a sense of service. She was a formidable public servant, a fixture and a giant in Minnesota. She woke up every day determined to make this state a better place. She is irreplaceable, and we've been missed by so many. Minnesota's thoughts and prayers are with her family, her loved ones, her children, and her parents. My prayers.
It's an unspeakable tragedy. It's an unspeakable tragedy. And everyone is really, really quick. This is the work of Donald Trump 100%. The way MAGA demonizes the Dems to create a narrative of everyone else being communists makes it more likely for MAGA to think that they are doing the right thing. Like, dude, and everyone is basically turning this into a political shitstorm. How could a right-wing guy assassinate somebody? This is obviously a right-wing assassin. He said it's a politically motivated attack. He said it's a politically motivated attack. Is MAGA gonna condemn the violence? Well, anyway, let me show you an old clip of Tampon Tim Walz, all right?
Yeah, I sat in that office with those Sandy Hook parents. I've become friends with school shooters. I've seen it. Look, the NRA.
He said he became friends with school shooters. Now, is this going to be something called epic foreshadowing? Trump decides to make this tweet. I've become friends with school shooters. Where is this going? What is happening? Nux, is this going to be a sad video, or are we going to be making fun of retards? The suspect who killed Representative Melissa Hortman this morning has been identified as 57-year-old Vance Bolter, law enforcement tells this person. Bolter was a Tim Walz appointee to one of the governor's boards. What a shock, he's connected to Tim Walz, the guy that was supposed to be the fucking vice president of the United States if Kamala Harris would have won the presidency. This is Vance Bolter. All right, appointed by Governor of Minnesota, Tim Walz. So yes, you were friends with shooters, bro. Yes, bro, you were friends with shooters. This is a person hired by Tim Walz who murdered 2 Democratic people. All right, now let me remind you of one of my favorite clips from Hamas Diddy Bin Laden Epstein Piker. This is a terrorist supporter that streams on Twitch to 50,000 people a day. The largest leftist political streamer. All right, this is an old clip of his, but it's a gold one.
There's about $50 billion estimated that are lost every year in Medicaid, just in fraud alone. No.
If you cared about Medicare fraud or Medicaid fraud, you would kill Rick Scott, okay? You wouldn't make Rick Scott, former governor of Florida, Rick Scott, you wouldn't make him a prominent part of the Republican Party.
There's about 50.
This is a guy telling his audience to kill a senator in the United States. Okay, enough beating around the bush. That's what he freaking said with his own lips. So yes, the left is the party of violence. They're constantly talking about killing people. Dude, there were assassination attempts against Trump. There were no assassination attempts against Kamala, but there were assassination attempts against Trump, multiple of them. You got this guy on Twitch saying, hey guys, we should engage in violence. We should fucking kill Rick Scott, all right? You got this guy connected to Tim Walz who killed 2 Democratic people. Don't worry, guys. Don't worry, guys, because here's Tampon Tim 2 weeks earlier. I wonder what he said 2 weeks earlier. If that maybe turned up the climate a little bit.
Called out on this because I called Donald Trump a wannabe dictator. It's because he is. It's because he is. Oh. The governor's being mean and the governor's speaking out on that. Well, maybe it's time for us to be a little meaner. Maybe it's time for us to be.
Maybe it's time for us to be a little meaner, he says to his gargling freaks in the audience.
A little more fierce. Because we have to ferociously push back on this. And again, I'll speak to my teacher colleagues in here. The thing that bothers a teacher more than anything is to watch a bully, to watch this bully and to stop it. And when it's a child, you talk to them and you tell them why bullying's wrong. But when it's adult like Donald Trump, you bully the shit out of him back.
All right, so he is telling his people to bully the shit out of Donald Trump, all right? This is in the midst of riots. This is in the midst of burning cop cars and beating up cops and throwing bricks at cops and looting stores and all of that bullshit that's going on. Be meaner, bully Trump. You gotta be meaner. All right, friends with school shooters, you know, this guy. So when you see clips like this is Governor Tim Walz 2 weeks ago telling Democrats they needed to get meaner. Then a guy he appointed shot 2 Minnesota lawmakers. Now, if you want to see a little more controversy here, because remember, they're still trying to frame this as some sort of MAGA guy, right? They're still saying it's a right-wing guy. Given the targeted shootings of state lawmakers overnight, we are asking the public not to attend today's planned demonstrations across Minnesota out of an abundance of caution. And suspiciously enough, in the very car of the assassin were flyers saying no kings. Now listen, I don't know if this implies that he was taking part of the No Kings protest against Trump and that he's some lefty lunatic guy, but that's insanity. Axios, thanks for the 5 subs. So, Charlie Kirk retweets this. We've had a decade of hysterics about fascism and Nazis in America, with the press calling ordinary border enforcement and policing things like ethnically cleansing and white supremacy and genocide. No! No, they're genociding all of the people that they're deporting. In Trump's first term, it led to congressional baseball shooting targeting Steve Scalise. This time around, we have Luigi Montione, and now today's diabolical attack in Minnesota, allegedly by Vance Luther Balter. There are too many mentally unstable, suggestible people on the left for them to be so recklessly turning up the political temperature every time they lose an election. And it's kind of crazy. It's kind of insane. I'm not even gonna lie. It's kind of wild. Look, Elon Musk was on Trump's side. People bombed Tesla stations and burnt Teslas. All right? Elon Musk goes against Trump, calls him a pedophile on Twitter. Right-wing people did not burn Teslas. I'm just saying. So, you have a classic example of Democrat shoots Democrat. MAGA needs to tone down their violent rhetoric. This is crazy. I can't believe it. MAGA really needs to tone down their violent rhetoric. And I feel like this really sums up the entire situation. Everyone has been screaming and shrieking about Trump's rhetoric. Oh, Trump called people names. Then you have people on the left literally sitting there frothing at the mouth. Yo, go murder a fucking United States senator. Look, dude, it's crazy to see this shit, because how many times have you heard people calling Trump Nazi, Hitler, retard, evil, like that whole thing? How many times have you heard this shit? I've heard it constantly. It's insane. They're all Nazis. They're all terrorists. They're all retards. They're all evil. They're all fascists. Violent rhetoric. Dog, every one of these fucking attacks are some lefty fuck. Obviously, it's not all leftists. But dog, stop, bro. Anyway, the No Kings protest is officially a domestic terrorist movement. All right, that's extreme. The Minnesota assassin was a radical Democrat who had No Kings flyers in his vehicle, targeted Democrat politicians who voted against free healthcare for illegal aliens, shut it down.
And events throughout the state of Minnesota today.
Are there reasons to believe that these events were also targeted by the person in the manifesto in the car?
We don't have any direct links. However, there were some flyers that said No Kings. Within the suspect vehicle. And as we know, the planned events throughout the state of Minnesota today is a No Kings event.
And so the reference materials that were inside of the vehicle that we saw, we have no understanding that any of the No Kings events would be targeted, but we also find it of interest to the public that these would be in there, and we want to alert everybody until we do that. Because this is such an active investigation with information
it's so vague. Right now, who's No Kings? No Kings is the protest against Trump. They're saying he's not a king.
We feel it's an obligation to all of you and the public across the state of Minnesota to alert you of it, and that's why the colonel made the notation of recommending people don't go today. But the individuals are not in custody yet, and so we want to make sure, as that very active manhunt is underway and continues, that we make sure that we're sharing that, and that's part of why we're making the recommendation. Yeah. As to the investigation and the list, we are working through that now and talking to individuals.
We're figuring this out.
Continue to. Yeah. What I would say with the list is there's a large number of people. That's all I can say about it. We will work through all of that, what the motivations of this are, and we'll provide that as you can. This is really a public safety announcement for everybody so that we can make sure people are informed and make safe decisions throughout the day.
Yeah. So basically, dude, formerly elected by Tim Walz, also has No Kings flyers, goes out and kills 2 Democrats, and apparently those Democrats suspiciously voted against free healthcare for illegal aliens in the middle of all these riots for illegal aliens causing violence. I don't know, man. Listen, you want to say what you want to say. This is some fucking cringe shit. For real, for real. Yeah, and everyone that thinks Trump's a king is a retard. Including some retards in my own chat. That's okay. Everyone's a retard now and again. But, yeah, absolutely. Bro won all 7 swing states. All 7 of them. All 7 swing states. Crazy how that happened. Majority vote. Democratically elected motherfucker. And everyone feels like they have a need to cry. Rise up, retards. Everyone needs to cry. I personally think, all right, my hot take is, all right, I'm going to tell you something that is very controversial, but I think it should absolutely happen. Currently, Trump is giving a speech about the troops, 250 years of the military. I think Trump should knight some soldiers. I think that would be fucking awesome. He tells some fucking general to walk up to him. He tells him to kneel. And then he fucking waves his pen around his head. And he says, I knight you as a king. That would be the craziest shit imaginable. And I fully support it. All right. Anyway, that's just my opinion. So the far left is murderously violent, says Elon Musk, correctly. And yeah, this was a retweet of this. The left kills the CEO of United Healthcare, kills 2 Israeli ambassador staffers in D.C., attempts twice to assassinate the president, doxes and attempts to murder federal ICE agents and police all week, and now kills the Minnesota state representative and her husband and injures a senator and his wife. The left has become a terrorist organization. Now, I think that might, again, be extreme to categorize the entire left as a terrorist organization. But there's a lot of them. There's a fucking lot of them. I'm not gonna lie. And you get fucking people saying, go kill Rick Scott. Yeah, go kill him. That's some terrorism shit. When you support and glaze terrorists that just execute people in public, that's some terrorist shit. It's the tolerant left, okay? The tolerant left is being very tolerant these days. Incredibly tolerant. So, Hasan Diddy Bin Laden Epstein Piker retweets the Elon Musk tweet saying that the left is murderously violent and says, evangelical Merc, who runs a private security firm who killed Democratic lawmakers and had Ilhan Omar and Tim Walz on his hit list, according to the police, is not a left-wing assassin. That's right. Hasan Diddler Piker is out here ready to cook because, don't worry, bros. This guy, professional at reading manifestos. But that hasn't stopped Elon from lying on a social media platform. Dangerous! So, again, this is the guy who was appointed by Tim Walz in the past, who had no King's flyers in his car, who executed 2 Democratic representatives that both voted against giving health care to illegal immigrants. And Hasan is like, yo, let's definitely make this. This is one of the bad terrorists. One of the rare bad terrorists. It's definitely a right-wing guy. Absolutely. Michael, thanks for the 5 subs. Now, the reason why I think this is very funny is because you remember there was a dude who literally yelled Free Palestine and murdered 2 Jews in D.C. And Hasan's response was, whoa, he probably doesn't hate Jews. Even though he killed 2 Jews in a Jewish Holocaust museum, he probably doesn't hate Jews. We have to wait for more information to analyze it. And he analyzed it. And then he decided, no, he doesn't hate Jews. That was his conclusion. His conclusion to the guy that murdered 2 Jews in the Holocaust Museum yelling Free Palestine, his conclusion was that guy does not hate Jews. So this dude, he's the fucking assassin whisperer. This dude sits there in his ivory tower in his socialist mansion. He understands the motivations of every assassin ever. He would know. He radicalized half of them. So, hey, it's pretty crazy how that happens. But, dude, it's wild that you have to deal with this motherfucker every day. It's insane. But, anywho, crime doesn't sleep, and neither does Hasan. Are you ready? There's a tremendous amount of right-wing misinformation flying around at the moment about the Minnesota shooter's background. Are you fucking retarded? Mr. Propagandist Extraordinaire, who misrepresents every situation ever, is scared about right-wing propaganda. It would be very helpful if the media would release his manifesto to try to counter the narratives every right-wing account is running with at the moment. The manifesto whisperer. That's what I am talking about. This dude lives for those terrorist manifestos. Holy shit, he looks at manifestos and that's how it happens every single time. Dude, it's crazy how this happens. It's fucking insane. How this dude will wake up and be like, holy shit, terrorist manifesto, where are you? Then this guy responds with the Tim Walz governor, notice of appointment, Vance Balter. Pretty hilarious how that happened. So, anywho, that's been the left trying their absolute hardest to frame it as though this has nothing to do with leftists at all, probably. Now, for some extra content, fuck. Shortly before the Minnesota representative Melissa Hortman was shot and killed, she broke down in tears in front of cameras after siding with Republicans. Hortman was the lone Democrat who voted to cut healthcare access for illegal immigrants.
I know that people will be hurt by that vote, and we worked very hard to try to get a budget deal that wouldn't include that provision.
DFL Speaker Emerita Melissa Hortman emotional following the House's adjournment from a special session Monday. Hortman was the lone DFL lawmaker to cast a vote to cut Minnesota Care access for undocumented immigrants. It's a move she made with a heavy heart.
I did what leaders do. I stepped up and I got the job done.
So, suspiciously enough, she was the one Democrat that voted on the Republican side. All right? The one Democrat that voted on the Republican side that illegal immigrants should not be getting free Medicare, because obviously they shouldn't. And she was murdered. This is fucking insanity. This is terrorism. This is awful.
For the people of Minnesota.
The bill was deeply unpopular with members of the DFL caucus. Members have repeatedly expressed frustration that the bill was part of a compromise, one that would ensure the necessary GOP votes to pass the rest of the state budget.
We are tremendously disappointed and gut-wrenched at this decision, at this compromise that compromises our communities that are most vulnerable.
These fucking retards.
Hortman knows she let down her own caucus members with the vote.
They're right to be mad at me. I think some of them are pretty angry. I think that their job was to make folks who voted for that bill feel like crap, and I think that they succeeded.
Over in the Senate, a similar situation unfolded. Senate Majority Leader Erin Murphy forced to vote for a bill she too disagreed with to uphold the integrity of their compromise.
This one hurt.
Crazy.
This one is a wound because of its reason. My colleagues across the aisle set this as their number one priority.
Asked whether the move would drive a wedge between her and the rest of her caucus, her DFL colleague, Senator John Marty, quickly stepped to her defense.
As a member of the caucus, yes, sir, she clearly was fighting against that every step of the way. In the negotiations, if we wanted a budget, we had to agree to that. She agreed to put up one vote for us because of that.
Reporting in St. Paul, I'm Quinn Gorham.
Yeah, so my incredibly hot take is, if you are not a citizen of the country, and you are not in the country legally at all, okay? Here's my incredibly hot take. You should not be getting taxpayer dollars funding your surgeries. You shouldn't. It's insanity. You are not here legally. Why should I pay for your shit? I don't understand. I don't know why I'm dealing with this. This is the most obvious thing in the universe. Any normal person with a brain would think that, including Melissa Hortman, the one Democrat that voted for what was right instead of voting for bullshit. Not a single one. Not a single one, bro. Oh my god, dude. What do you do about this shit, huh? Not a single one of the Democrats were able to stand up. She was the only one. She voted for something that she thought was right, and she got murdered. Now, again, I don't know if this was an example of leftist violence. I don't know if this was a paid assassin. I don't know if some shadow government wanted to get rid of some people. I'm all conspiratorial on this bitch. But that's insane. So, anywho, obviously, shit gets crazier. So, this is the Minnesota State Patrol confirming the assassination suspect did have the No Kings flyers.
We don't have any direct links. However, there were some flyers that said No Kings within the suspect vehicle.
Yeah, and that's the equivalent of having fucking ISIS in the glove compartment. Like, dude, obviously, you know where this person was. You know who he was a part of. All right? Dude, the No Kings flyers. That is insanity. Holy shit. It's a tragic situation. It really is. And there's something really, really deeply fucking wrong. Deeply wrong in the United States that this shit is happening. Who was the Minnesota lawmaker Melissa Hartman who was shot dead in the suspected target assassination? The suspect remains at large. A vehicle believed to belong to him had the No Kings protest. This is awful. It's so sad. It's such a tragic situation. Hartman joined Republicans as the lone Democratic vote in support of provision preventing adult undocumented migrants from accessing the low-income health insurance system. Oh, it's so painful. She did what she thought was right. And she was murdered. And she was murdered 4 days later. This is crazy. It's insane to think about it. Holy shit, man. The left spent months celebrating Luigi Mangione for murdering a healthcare CEO. Yesterday, Melissa Hortman was shot and killed after voting against healthcare for illegals. Are we supposed to be surprised that politically motivated assassinations are on the rise? Specifically, by the left? Like, it's mind-blowing to see this. And no one will stop. No one will stop and be like, hey, there is like an actual rise of terrorist activity on the left. There is rhetoric made by some streamers, some politicians actually supporting the mostly peaceful assassination over here. Mostly peaceful assassination of a couple of senators, whatever. So this is what MSNBC had to say.
Overwhelming majority of Americans, regardless of political party and regardless of who the subject of the assassination is. That's a very red line that'll be crossed. And I wonder if some of these protests around the country, including yours, whether that's a unifying force where people are going to come out and say, we want our democracy a certain way. We have the right to protest. It's a First Amendment right. We don't cross lines into political violence.
Yeah, I would hope so. I would hope that this is a unifying moment, but unfortunately, as we've seen time and time again, it usually isn't. We have too many people and too many elected officials, including the current occupant of the White House, who escalates rhetoric. And
the White House has bad rhetoric. That's right. Leftist freak murders a leftist guy. All right. Though I can't believe it. I would love to be unified, but the White House has bad rhetoric.
Violent rhetoric against political opponents, and that leads to these kinds of tragic events.
You fucking retarded. The right has violent rhetoric against political opponents? Like, what are you even talking about, bro? They've been calling Trump Hitler for the last 10 years.
It is absolutely unacceptable, and every single elected official should be condemning this.
Of course everyone's condemning this. Everyone is condemning this.
Regardless of their political party. But I don't have the greatest hope for some people to actually come out and do that.
This is fucking horrible, man. How do you possibly say that shit? How do you do this, bro? It's crazy. MSNBC tries to make it sound like, yes, I cannot believe that Trump would do this. I can't believe Trump would do this. His violent rhetoric is getting people killed. Dude, stop! Stop! Stop with the bullshit. Stop with the bullshit. The left is the violent party right now. They're just self-gaslighting. The tragic assassination in Minnesota by a killer masquerading as a police officer illuminates why FBI agents and Secret Service tackled a screaming, unidentified lunatic rushing DHS Secretary Noem. When in doubt, the prosecutors of all government officials must take action. True. If you remember, I made a video just yesterday. In case you are unaware, just yesterday I made a video about how there was this one guy, Senator Padilla or whatever his name is, that he jumped in and he fucking ran headfirst at Secretary Noem, and they tackled him and arrested him and detained him for a little bit because of that, obviously, because he rushed at her, and everyone lost their mind. How dare you? How dare you attack an elected official? Here you have a dude dressed as a cop murder somebody. All right, stop. Obviously, if someone's rushing at people, you fucking take them down. Thanks for the 10 subs, Swamp King. Now, the crazy shit that is actually happening, anti-Trump, in this actual anti-Trump rally, anti-Trump protesters with no kings are now blocking roads to the White House. Ahem. All right, that's a crime. And they are yelling 8647, which is a call for the assassination of President Trump, right? To 86 means to get rid of, and 47 is the 47th president of the United States. These people should be investigated by the Secret Service. Yeah, she's not even wrong. Look at this shit. 8647 as they block the roads. They are calling for violence while they're committing a felony. Why are we doing this? Why are we doing this? Nice, nice. Look at all these mostly peaceful protesters. They still didn't get the memo that the dude won the election and won all 7 swing states. All 7 swing states. Yeah, look at that. Look at him go. Yeah, woo. The mostly retarded protesters have designed a bad circus to call for the killing of Donald Trump. The mostly peaceful leftists blocked a road and committed a crime in the name of humanity or something. Yeah, so it's pretty great. That's what's going on right now in the United States. But I think it's important to note that the Minneapolis shooter had a list of 70 names of people that he wanted to kill.
Where police say a gunman shot and killed Minnesota State Representative Melissa Hortman and her husband Mark early this morning at their home. Police say the same gunman also shot Minnesota State Senator John Hoffman and his wife multiple times at their home.
Insane.
Minnesota Governor Tim
Awful.
Walz is calling the attacks a politically motivated assassination. Here's more of what he said earlier today.
I assure you that those...
Yeah, we already saw this clip. But the point is, apparently there were 70 more names.
Hit list that police say was found in the suspect's car. He's now on foot. He left the vehicle and possibly a lot of other valuable tools.
Well, the car is a treasure trove of clues and potential clues, not just forensically, but things in plain sight. What we're told from law enforcement sources briefed on the investigation is that there are a cache of additional weapons inside that car.
Oh, great. Oh, nice.
Indicating that the suspect was loaded for
very
additional
nice
targets, possible confrontations with law enforcement or security.
Oh.
A large amount of ammunition. In an ammunition bag, they found a Father's Day card, presumably addressed to the suspect. But there is also this manifesto which lays out his issues. And on top of that, a very, very long list of names, approximately 70 names.
All right. Apparently he had 70 names of people he wanted to execute.
This includes numerous state legislators from Minnesota, but it also includes other elected officials, a couple of mayors. It includes other places in Minnesota, including medical clinics, abortion providers, pro-life advocates, and it includes some locations and individuals from out of state. What does that tell us? It poses the question of what was the ultimate game plan? Was it to continue to get through this list, to go as far down with as many attacks or assassinations as possible until he was stopped by police?
That seems like the plan, yeah.
What we know.
All right, I wonder if he's going to commit suicide with 2 bullets to the back of his head. I wonder if he's going to do the Jeffrey Epstein suicide. I feel like it's coming, bro.
Now is that at his first location, he did his first attack in the pre-dawn hours of the morning in the darkness. That preemptively, police went to the second location where the nearest other elected state official was and ran straight into the suspect. The Brooklyn Park, Minnesota police exchanged shots with the individual, which caused him to flee towards the house and then into the darkness. But that also made him leave that car, all of that evidence, and potentially part of his plan behind. Now, with the idea that they exchanged gunfire, the fact that he was described as wearing a tactical vest, probably body armor, likely bullet resistant, he may be wounded, or the vest may have deflected that, but he is with whatever weapons he had on him, without a vehicle, and still theoretically on the move somewhere in that area that he could have gotten by foot, or perhaps called an associate or a friend to pick him up. So that hunt is still extraordinarily intense.
Yeah, so we'll see where it goes from there. But this guy's a full-blown fucking terrorist. This guy's a freaking bad guy. This is crazy. It is insanity to see this shit happen. Oh my lord. Dude had a hit list of 70 names. He had a small arsenal. He murders 2 people. Former elected person by Tim Walz. I don't know. There's a lot of suspicious shit. Minnesota State Representative Melissa Hortman and her husband have been passed away. There was a targeted assassination. She recently voted to remove illegals from Medicaid. This is what any centrist Democrat is up against. Melissa did the right thing and paid for it with her life. True. And I don't know, man. If I was a Democrat right now, I'd be terrified. Because, dude, the leftists want to kill you if you're reasonable, okay? They only want to support you if you want to cut kids' testicles off, all right? That's the only way they'll support you. You have to go fully radical. You have to say, we want illegal immigrants to replace the white people. If you say that, they will love you forever. But if you're even remotely moderate, they'll fucking kill you, bro. Holy shit. Insane. Now, I think you'll find this interesting. This is a list of the NGOs, right? The non-government organizations that financially support the No Kings rallies. Pretty weird, pretty weird. The Red Cross, the New Venture Fund, Planned Parenthood, they're always there. ACLU, Communications Workers of America, Tide Center, AFD, Sierra Club, Neo Philanthropy, National Women's Law Center, Indivisible, blah, 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 blah. Point is, this No Kings riot, this anti-Trump protest / riot, is funded by a lot of suspicious companies, and you keep seeing these names cycled over and over and over. Look at all of these guys. It's pretty weird that they keep funding this shit. So, this dude testifies that he's undercover at the No Kings protest and says that the people smell like garbage. So we're gonna have to hear this.
Donald Trump, go to hell! Donald Trump, go to hell! Stop the family separation! Stop family separation!
Well, I mean, we could deport the entire families together.
Fight against the deportation! Fight against the deportation! Stop the family separation!
Bro, can you imagine going to this? Can you imagine going to this? A bunch of smelly people that are probably paid to be there? Unreal. Unbelievable. So this is the No Kings. This is the funniest shit in the universe. This is the No Kings rally outside the U.S. Embassy in London. Right? These are people in London that gathered around the U.S. Embassy in London to chant No Kings.
We must build a movement of movements, a coalition ready to stand up to Trump and show him when he comes to this city, when he comes to this country, who he really is. A tyrant, a fascist. And to show that the people of this country and around the world want to do politics differently. We stand for democracy.
Motherfuckers, England literally has a king! You literally have a king! You cannot gather a bunch of people in England to chant No Kings against Trump when you literally have a king! This is the wildest thing I've ever seen.
We stand for human rights and for the equality of all.
Unless you criticize Islam, in which case we will be arresting you. Not trying to be controversial or anything, but that's how it's going to happen, alright? Listen, we have blasphemy laws, but specifically against one God. Alright, anyway, moving on. Not trying to get controversial here or anything. Retard's gonna retard. Now, multiple No Kings protests have been canceled in Florida. I already showed you this speech before, but it's so fucking hilarious. I'm gonna show it to you again. It's only a minute. I wonder if this speech that happened 2 days ago has anything to do with the cancellation of the No Kings riots in Florida.
So I'm gonna break it down for you.
All right, break it down, Mr. Sheriff.
And if somebody wants to know what I mean by turn violent,
I want to know.
This is what I mean.
What do you mean?
If you resist lawful orders, you're going to jail.
Oh, based.
Let me be very clear about that.
Oh, I love that. Yeah, that's great.
If you block an intersection or a roadway in Brevard County, you are going to jail.
Based.
If you flee arrest, you're going to go to jail tired because we are going to run you down and put you in jail.
Oh, cool. Love that.
If you try to mob rule a car in Brevard County, gathering around it, refusing to let the driver leave, in our county, you're most likely going to get run over.
Oh, shit.
And dragged across the street.
Oh, all right.
If you spit on us, you're going to the hospital and in jail. If you hit one of us, you're going to the hospital and jail, and most likely get bitten by one of our big, beautiful dogs that we have here.
Yeah!
If you throw a brick, a firebomb, or point a gun at one of our deputies, we will be notifying your family where to collect your remains at.
Holy shit.
Because we will kill you graveyard dead.
Oh, God.
We're not going to play. This has got to stop. You're watching what's taking place out there. You're seeing police officers that are being attacked, being spit on, being put in harm's way just for doing their jobs. You're seeing ICE agents that are being targeted for doing their jobs. And you're seeing obstructionists that are doing all of this, standing in the way of law and order.
So, yeah, for some suspicious reason, law and order, for some reason, has stopped the violent riots in Florida. It's almost like if you actually want to stop insane shit from happening in your state, you actually, you know, uphold the law. They will leave you graveyard dead. Now, this is the governor of Florida, Ron DeSantis, and he also had something interesting to say.
And we also have a policy that if you're driving on one of those streets and a mob comes and surrounds your vehicle and threatens you, you have a right to flee for your safety. And so if you drive off and you hit one of these people, that's their fault for impinging on you. You don't have to sit there and just be a sitting duck and let the mob grab you out of your car and drag you through the streets.
Bro.
You have a right to defend yourself in Florida. And
yeah, that's what they call FAFO. Fuck around to find out. If you, the governor of Florida is saying you can run over people that try to mob rush your cars. And suspiciously enough, in Florida, they canceled the fucking No Kings protests. Pretty weird how that happens. Pretty weird, as Rachel Ziegler once said. Weird. I don't know, that's kind of weird. Now, because we're looking into all the funding of these protests and potential funding of assassins, breaking news, USAID official and 3 company executives plead guilty in fraud and bribery scheme involving 14 contracts worth over $550 million. USAID official Roderick Watson took bribes, was showering with lavish gifts, including cash, laptops, thousands of dollars in tickets in a suite and an NBA game, country club wedding, down payments on 2 residential mortgages, cell phones, and jobs for relatives. In exchange for the bribe payments, Watson influenced the award of contracts by manipulating the procurement process at USAID. Watson faces 15 years in prison. Imagine how much fraud there is. Ladies and gentlemen, Doge works. Doge actually worked. Dog, Elon actually showed up, man. People are actually getting cooked. They're getting arrested. People are going to jail for this fraudulent USAID government funding misspending shit. Now, everyone that sits and yells, no, was there actually any fraud that was uncovered? Yes, actual verifiable fraud. Not only is money being saving, but people are getting fucking punished, and it's glorious. His asshole will be stretched in prison, and I do not feel that bad for him. So, interestingly enough, more wild testimonies came out. Representative Anna Paulina Luna announced that George Soros is being called in to testify for funding leftist riots, and Soros might be going to jail.
What are we doing about it is the
Yeah,
question. Just ask me
right.
what we're doing about it.
Okay. Yeah, because this is like alarming, right? Like, I'm like, okay, so if you are actually able to name the person, when do the shackles come out? Because we've heard Hawley.
Great question. Everyone's yelling. Everyone's screaming. Put people in jail. I agree, by the way. Put people in jail for sure. People might be going to jail, guys.
Banging the drums, you know.
So
about
Hawley
this.
posted. So I want to give credit to someone specifically, 2 people. First person is the data Republican. She actually has been responsible for pulling all this data together, and she's actually who I saw this. And then also Laura Loomer was also the one that sent me the stuff on Code Pink and Singham's wife. But those 2 people, credit due where it's deserved. But what are we doing about it? So I actually talked to Comer, and we actually have a letter going out today. You'll see that come out in a story with the New York Post. But a letter going out from all the members of Oversight asking Neville Singham to come in to testify. If Neville Singham does not come in to testify, Mr. Singham, if you do not produce documentation and testify before Congress, you'll be subpoenaed. And if you ignore that subpoena,
jail,
you will go to jail.
Oh, it's going to be such a good day watching these fucking frauds get actually cooked.
Because we will hold you in contempt of Congress.
Based.
And Merrick Garland is no longer in charge.
Based.
So we are going to ask for financials, and we are also going to be asking for him to testify. Now, Mr. Singham is not a registered foreign agent, and he is advocating for the government of China. That is illegal. It's known as a FARA violation. So as of right now, we will call him to testify. You'll see that date notice, and the process will play out. But he's not the only person that I've asked Comer to bring in to testify. I've also asked him to call in George Soros.
Oh, God, dude, it's actually happening. It's actually happening. The crackdown.
Soros is an interesting twist in this because you have Neville Singham, who is a open Marxist, pro-China, and then you have Soros, who's an open globalist. Both and
all these globalists, all these people that are part of funding these giant fucking ring of protesters, retards, and radicals on the left. They're actually getting caught and cooked. And this is everything I wanted, bro. This is everything I wanted. Oh, I love me some justice. Dart, thanks for the sub.
Objectives are to take down the West and to fight what President Trump is doing, because he is literally the person standing in the way of that. And so their end objective, even though they're ideologically different in certain senses, is end target would be destruction of America. So
I'll be real. I agree. If you are funding all these riots and insurrections and lighting shit on fire, you are literally funding the downfall of America. If you're removing the borders from the country and just pouring in illegal immigrants constantly, you are fighting against the West. You are. I cannot wait for this shit to happen.
See if Comer bites on sending subpoena.
A little bit of fuck around, find out. A little bit of fafo in the morning. It really... it really makes the day go by nicer.
To Soros, but either which way, every single time Democrats call for a subpoena and try to pull a parliamentary on Soros, I will then, or on Elon Musk, I will then try to pull the parliamentary on Soros. So they'll have to choose.
George Soros has been sowing these seeds for the better part of the last 3 decades. Why hasn't he ever been subpoenaed?
Great question.
Like, are Republicans just so weak?
You know, Benny, I think that this should have been done a really long time ago.
So true, so real, but it's happening now. Anyway, we'll see what happens. Obviously, you have some people saying nothing ever happens, it's not going to change. I am a hopeful optimist, and I would love to see people that try to burn the country down with their own 2 hands actually face the repercussions for their actions. I am a firm believer in FAFO. If you are a retard, I want to see you get cooked. Sorry, that's just my opinion. So... to wrap things up, I wanted to show you what's actually going on the streets. Decoy Voice made a video looking at the streets, the actual fucking bullshit that's swarming the country. So let's see what's actually going on the streets and how many of these leftist-funded bullshit situations are actually going on, how fucking demented they are, and we got some more retards to make fun of. Lock in, boys and girl.
How quick did they go from peacefully protesting to essentially helping inmates escape from incarceration?
Wait, what? What? Where did that... Huh? Oh, Lord. You've got to be kidding me.
Caster from Freedom News shows us. At an ICE facility in New Jersey, activists attempt to block their arrivals.
There's no way. What the... There is no fucking way. They're trying to break inmates out now? Gotta be kidding me. You've got to be kidding me.
Get back. Get back. Get back. Get back. Get back. Oh.
Dude, I like that dude saw these people come into the cars, instantly busted out the baton. Like, we're not waiting. They did break out. 4 inmates escaped? 4 inmates escaped? Dude, how is this even remotely acceptable?
I'm already out the way! Move out of the way! Hey! Move back! Move back! Move back! Move back! Move back! Move back!
Dude, all these fucking people. Look, dude, why are they wearing like the keffiyeh things? It's like everyone has all the struggles all come together every single time. Dude, what is happening?
Move back! Move.
Screaming, no, how dare you arrest a criminal? I support Palestine. I mean, Mexico. I mean, what are we supporting again, guys?
Move back! Move back! Move back, guys. Move back! Move back! Move back! Let's go!
You would think they'd learn their lesson already.
Dude, they need to arrest these people, man. This is obstructing justice. I don't understand. This is obstructing justice, bro. Holy shit, man. It's insanity. I don't know why people don't feel like laws should be enforced. Dude, the reason why there's laws is to enforce them. That's why laws exist. Dude, if I don't pay my taxes on time, the IRS will fucking carpet bomb my house. All right? That's if I don't pay taxes on time. Sure. But these people are literally obstructing justice, attacking police officers, and nothing happens. Dude, I cannot wait for fucking, for the fuck around find out situation.
As they're literally doing nothing for their movement, other than getting themselves the participation trophy of protesting, which is going to jail. As Freedom News shows us...
Oh wait, they arrested them? No! Oh.
Into the next day, these same idiots show us what weaponized unemployment can accomplish.
This is weaponized retardation. Dude, who the fuck are these people, man? No, they have every right to be violent. I don't understand why this is acceptable at all. Thanks for the sub, Tyrant.
Wait for the gate. Come on. Come on.
They just pick them up and carry them to jail.
Nazis go! Nazis go!
Then Scooter Castro.
It's ridiculous. This is insanity. This is actual insanity, bro. Idle hands are in the devil's workshop. So true. So true. This is brutal.
Reported when the protesters were preoccupying the feds. Inside the facility, a riot broke out with 4 detainees escaping.
Dude, they actually broke 4 people out. They're gonna see this as a win. Unless every single one of these people is actually punished. They're gonna see this as a win, and this is gonna keep happening. This is why you cannot reward this shit. If you reward it, it keeps happening. There needs to be laws. I don't understand, man. I don't get it.
With the local
drag their ass to jail, bro. Sorry, I hate being so based. It's not easy because I'm based, and then people freak out on Twitter. They try to kill me. All right, listen. This is. People are so mad that they're asking the Iranian military to murder me at this point. All right, that's how much they hate me for being based. But I'm gonna keep doing it because someone has to. Dog, fucking punish these assholes.
CBS affiliate following up, stating the 4 escaped through the wall, as
my God.
all of them have criminal history. So good job, guys. Clearly your ability to push plastic barriers shows you'll be able to protect you and your family from whoever just got released into your local community, as all the fear-mongering has them thinking they're freeing these innocent citizens when the feds are primarily going after known criminals. That's why in LA, they're now stalking undercover agents.
I'm not trying to hit you guys. Open the car. Open the car. Hit the car. I did not try to hit the car. You did. No, I didn't.
Wow.
No, I didn't. Hey, it's all right. You know, I know you guys are doing what you guys are doing. I'm just watching out for my people. That's it.
Bro, dude, stop being this guy. Stop being this guy.
When you start following us and telling us, you're creating an unsafe environment for everybody. Okay? And at that time, you're impeding and obstructing federal investigation.
As I imagine, they think they're just getting processed in the revolving door that is LA County's justice system.
True, because they let everybody out of jail.
Completely unaware that the feds don't answer to their Democrat mayor. As again, on Reddit, they claim they're wearing down the local coppers, and their powers of unemployedness beats the police's powers of unlimited taxpayer-funded overtime.
This is crazy, man. I don't know. I have a hot take. All right, this is a hot take. I'm sure people are not going to actually agree to this. If you participate in the riot, I'm not talking about the public protest, I mean the actual riot. Like obstructing justice, blocking highways, lighting shit on fire, looting, any of that. You should not be entitled to any government funding at all. Not food stamps, not Section 8, none of that. Not social, nothing, zero. You are fighting against the government. The government should not be paying for your shit. That's my hot take. Unless you go to jail. In which case, maybe we'll figure that out.
As with this No Kings thing coming up tomorrow, LAPD
that's where we are now.
Is mobilizing every single officer. And even though Governor Newsom claimed he was regaining control of the National Guard,
Donald Trump will immediately back down. The courts have ruled.
Valid attempt. Donald Trump will back down. Yes. Says the least intelligent governor of all time. Yes. Donald Trump, known for backing down. Foxy Boy, thanks for the 25 subs. Holy shit.
On the guard, they will be back under my command, and he'll be relieved. Donald Trump will be relieved of his command at noon tomorrow.
Look at that.
The appeals court quickly gave them back to Trump as the U.S. Marines finally deployed to the city, making their first
damn, they made it.
Arrest of a civilian.
Good shit. Oh yeah, pick that fraud up. Oh yeah, look at that. Oh yeah, look at that dude. Oh yeah.
And honestly, the optics of this are terrible.
Why?
But the alternative to this is even worse.
Why are the optics terrible? Wait, I don't understand.
And honestly,
U.S. Marines, Los Angeles, first known detention of a civilian. I think that's great. I don't know. I don't think it's terrible. If they have evidence that this dude actually participated in the riots, fuck yeah.
The optics of this are terrible. But the alternative to this is even worse, as the entire city is...
Am I the only one that doesn't actually care about optics all that much? I'm much more of a enforce the law kind of guy. I'm much more of a, if you light a car on fire, you should go to jail kind of dude.
Boarding up, just like the last time the Democrats didn't get their way. And after they looted Little Tokyo, they vandalized the stores as if that would stop the raids.
Yes! Absolutely. Destroy some Hispanic-owned business. That'll show them.
So now business owners are putting up these posters.
Please, no destroy. Support immigration. Please. Oh, it's so sad. Nux, your disregard for optics is why I watch you. Yeah, I don't give a shit about optics. I just say what I think is right, and I don't actually really care that much.
As if it'll protect them in the liberals' version of Passover. LA's basically living under mob rule, where the rioters are gonna hold the law-abiding citizens hostage until the Trump administration stops enforcing the law.
I mean, that is what's happening. That is literally what's happening.
So why is it in places like San Francisco, they're out there destroying cop cars, but in Florida, their protests are much more polite, seemingly scared to block their streets? It probably has to do with what we covered in yesterday's video, where the local sheriff and the governor both announced that blocking the streets might mean you get run over. As San Antonio, Texas also goes heavy-handed on their arrests, with Las Vegas sending out about 100 officers to detain 2 dudes. And
Vegas, why are you like this?
This wasn't the only instance of this.
Honor your oath. How about honor your oath? How about that? Honor your oath. Oh, there you go.
I didn't do nothing. I didn't say nothing.
They all turned around.
This guy goes to jail. He goes to jail. Let's go.
He goes to jail. That's it. He goes to jail. Oh my God.
Put your hands behind your back. Yep. You go to jail.
I'm just watching. I'm watching. I didn't do nothing.
Bro, they are so tired of the bullshit. Okay, you go to jail. Enough.
With DC doing the same,
Lord.
parading their protesters out in handcuffs. So it's almost like restoring order is easy if you just allow PD to do their job, as we're about to see the ultimate contrast between conservative and liberal cities, as this No Kings thing is supposed to start tomorrow, with Fang Fang's favorite congressman begging people to attend.
It's No King's Day this Saturday. 2,000 rallies across America. Americans need to show up, because if we don't show up, democracy dies.
These people are all retarded. Like, this dude was democratically elected. He won all 7 swing states, man. Why are we playing this game? This is like fear-mongering on another level.
They're really gonna let them destroy their own cities.
We need at least one person for every gender on these protests and rallies. Make sure to dye your hair blue and pink so we know you're a real one.
To fight against so-called kings. So make sure you subscribe to see that tomorrow.
Oh, hell yeah, dude. I am so ready. Anyway, yeah.
I'm
gonna, of course, link this guy in the description. Beautiful man. Love this dude. He is my favorite rooftop Korean. Hell yeah. Trump won at least 2 elections. That's all I have to say. So all these No Kings people are retarded. But my favorite situation of the day has to be the fact that there's breaking news. Iran has killed American, Canadian, Israeli VTuber Nux Taku. Not Israeli, also not dead. However, I'm really glad people care so much. I'll see you in the next one if I'm not dead by then. But yeah, the death threats, people, this all started. It's me criticizing Hasan Piker and me saying that if you are illegally in the country, you should get deported. Those 2 takes got Twitter to cancel me daily. Thank you for the free publicity. We'll see you in the next one. Stay weird, fam. Like, subscribe, and this video was streamed live on kick.com/Nuxanor. See you there. Stay weird, fam.